Robert Birkenkemper, EDTR 261, final exam. Today we will look at the process of assessment. We will take a look at the process of assessment in the following areas. These areas include intelligence, behavior, physical development, academic performance, social emotional functioning, language, and perceptual functioning. The process of assessment is gathering and discussing information from multiple and diverse sources in order to develop a deep understanding of what students know, understand, and can do with their knowledge as a result of their educational experiences. Let's take a look at intelligence. The process of assessment for intelligence is performed by a series of subtests in which the scores are combined to give a total IQ score. Some of the measures of the subtest include vocabulary, comprehension, and block design. The most widely used tests are the Stanford-Binet, the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale, and the Kaufman Assessment Battery for Children. The results of intelligent tests are usually reported in the form of a standardized intelligent quotient score. The IQ score is a quotient that was historically derived in the following manner. The IQ equals mental age, MA, / chronological age equals 100. So let's take a look at the Stanford-Binet test. This is one of the tests used in intelligence. As you can see, here's a sample of test items that are used. On the left-hand side, you will see the age of the person. So a typical example for age 4 is the child will name objects from memory, complete analogies such as fire is hot, ice is too, and they'd fill in the blank. Identify objects of similar shape. Answer simple questions. Why do we have schools? Okay. Age 6, we could do define simple words, explain differences between a fish and a horse, identify missing parts of a picture, count out objects. Jump up to age 8, answer questions about a simple story, explain similarities and differences among objects. Tell how to handle certain situations, such as finding a stray puppy. Age 10, define more difficult words, give explanations about why people should be quiet in a library. That could be an example. List as many words as possible. Repeat 6-digit numbers. Also, age 12, identify more difficult verbal and picture absurdities. Repeat 3-digit numbers in reverse order, 5-digit numbers in reverse order. Define abstract words such as sorrow. Fill in a missing word in a sentence. And of course, we have the adult level. Supply several missing words for incomplete sentences. Report 6-digit numbers in reverse order. Create a sentence using several unrelated words. Describe similarities between concepts. Okay, let's take a look at behavior. Assessment process of behavior. We have indirect, which includes techniques such as interviewing the classroom teacher and parents, reviewing data in school records, and completing behavioral rating scales and checklists. Then we have direction observation, also referred to as a descriptive observational method. The student must be observed in the environment in which the behaviors are occurring. Techniques such as event recording, interval recording, interresponsive time, and interviews with parents, school personnel, and when appropriate, the student. Classroom behavior charts could also be given to help monitor progress of specific behaviors. Examples of these behaviors might include out of seat, eloping, calling out, etc. Rewards and incentives could be given to coincide with positive behaviors on the chart. And the last one is functional behavioral analysis method. These are variables believed to be triggering the behavior and the possible consequences following the behavior that are manipulated. This can be determined exactly why the student is using the behavior. Now here is an example of a checklist that can be used when monitor a student's behavior. Of course, you can see this is a primary checklist, and it has smiley faces and sad faces, and it goes by each subject during the day. This is helpful for the teacher, and it can give them better data of when the behaviors are occurring. Okay, the next one we will look at is physical development. When testing for physical development, the Brigance Early Childhood Screen 3 is used. It is a system of assessment instruments designed to screen for both development risk and potential advanced development. The screening is standardized and includes criterion reference items. The areas assessed include development, language development, and academic skills and cognitive development. The domains are assessed are visual, fine, and graph motor, gross motor, quantitative concepts, personal information, receptive vocabulary, pre-reading, reading skills, expressive vocabulary, and articulation, verbal fluency, and syntax. A sample of the Brigance assessment is the infant and toddler version, which is located right here. So you can see the different areas and how it's broken down. The toddler part of this test is aged between 12 to 23 months. You can see it has fine motor skills and the list of everything over here. And then the points, how it's assessed. The child's score. Okay, next is language. The assessment process of language, a few of the assessments used. The Peabody Picture Vocabulary Test 4 measures the student's verbal comprehension skills by presenting a series of 4 visual stimuli and requesting the student to discriminate the stimulus that best represents the orally stated word. Expressive Vocabulary Test 2. The student's test expressive vocabulary is assessed by asking the student to name a picture or to provide a synonym for a picture. Test of language development contains subtests, picture vocabulary, rational vocabulary, oral vocabulary, syntactic understanding, and sentence articulation. These tests assess receptive language, expressive language, and written language. Here's a sample question that might be found on the test. The instruction asks the student to put their finger on a person that is laughing. Of course, you would know it would be this one right here. Okay, let's take a look at social emotional functioning. The process used are rating scales usually given to both parent and teacher to look to see if behaviors are observed across settings. Examples of these scales are Behavior Assessment System for Children, the Connors 3, and Scale for Assessing Emotional Disturbance. Projective and apperception tests can also be given to gauge how a student is thinking and to see if their perceptions of reality are skewed. The parent and teacher are asked questions about what they observe when they are with the student. Educational disabilities that fall under this category are other health impaired or ADHD or emotional disability for a student struggling with anxiety or depression. Next, we'll take a look at perceptual functioning. Perceptual learning process by which the ability of sensory systems to respond to stimuli is improved through experience. Perceptual learning occurs through sensory interaction with the environment as well as through practice in performing specific sensory tasks. Usually looked at on the cognitive assessment. They usually deal with nonverbal skills. The process assesses how well a student does with nonverbal activities, sequencing, patterns, and puzzles, etc. The Visual Spatial Index, this is used and includes subtests that assess the ability to use visual stimuli, such as patterns or shapes, to solve novel problems. Visual processing skills are measured by these subtests. Also, the other tests, fluid reasoning, a series of subtests that assess the ability of students to use new stimuli to solve novel tasks. The stimuli provided are both visual and auditory. These subtests include matrix reasoning, figure weights, picture concepts, and arithmetic. Next, academic performance. This process includes teachers' reports, running records, Woodcock-Johnson tests of achievement. This is usually given by the special educator. It looks at reading, math, and written language skills. The assessments used for academic performance: achievement tests, screening tests, aptitude tests, diagnostic tests, and adaptive behavior scales. I thank you for this time, and I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.